Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Selenium Tech Automation. In this tutorial, I am going to discuss about the basic and advanced Selenium interview questions. Okay, either it will be for freshers or experienced candidates also. I am going to discuss about the basic and advanced Selenium interview questions. Okay, before going to start this video, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel Selenium Tech Automation, and also please watch this video till the end, and also please share this video to your friends or colleagues so that they will also learn something about the concept called Selenium interview questions, okay, which will helpful for them, and also your share will recommend this video for more people. Okay, let's get started with our today tutorial, that is basic and advanced Selenium interview questions for experienced candidates or fresher candidates as well. Okay, first we will see what is automation testing here. Okay, here the automation testing is the process of testing a software application using some automation testing tool, okay, to find the defects. Okay, that is called as automation testing. Okay, during this testing process, to execute the scripts and generating the results are performed automatically. Okay, during this process, executing the test scripts and generating the results are performed automatically by the automation tools. Okay, here automation tools in the sense like we can have Selenium QTP, okay, Selenium and QTP, and also we can have Catalan also there, and also we can have Cypress. Okay, there are many more tools which are available to do this automation testing. Mostly companies are using Selenium tool only. Okay, so then the next question is, what are the benefits of automation testing? Okay, if we are doing automation testing means, so we can easily reduce the manual efforts, right? So we can easily reduce the manual efforts. At the same time, we can save our time and money, and also compared to manual testing, automation testing is faster in execution part. Okay, comparing to manual testing execution, we can execute all our scripts with the help of automation testing is very faster, okay, compared to manual intervention. So then the next benefit here is reusability of code. Okay, which means create one time and execute multiple times with less or no maintenance. For example, here reusability code means, for example, I can create a reusable method to select a value from the drop down. Okay, here I am creating only one time the method called as select a value from drop down. So I am using this method throughout our framework based upon the scenario. Okay, that is the one advantage, like benefit, that is called reusability of code. And also coming to the next benefit here is easy reporting. Okay, by defaultly we don't have any feature from Selenium to add the third party reporting tools such as extend reports, allure reports, and also ATU reports. Okay, by defaultly Selenium is not providing any reporting feature. We have to configure these tools to generate some good reports. Okay, and also it is very easy to generate some automatic reports with the help of automation tool. Okay, and also here the one more benefit here is easy for compatibility testing. Here compatibility testing means, for example, if I am launching my application with IE browser, okay, and also I am using my application on the OS version called Windows OS. Okay, so here we can use this Selenium, okay, on different kinds of browser. I mean, it will support different kinds of browser, and also it will support multiple languages, and also it will support multiple operating system versions. It is not only restricted to one operating system. So here we can use any kind of operating systems to test our application. Okay, so and also we can enable parallel execution in the combination of different operating systems and browser environments. Okay, that is about this easy for compatible testing. And the next benefit here is low cost maintenance. Okay, it is cheaper compared to manual testing in a long run. Okay, here why it is cheaper means, Selenium is a, first of all, it is a open source tool. Okay, we no need to put any money to buy that Selenium tool. Okay, because it is a open source tool, it can be used by anyone. Okay, so that's why it is very low cost maintenance. And the next benefit here is automated testing is more powerful and versatile. Automation tools allow us to integrate with cross browser testing tools, Jenkins, GitHub. Okay, we can integrate all these automated test scripts with the help of Jenkins and GitHubs also. Okay, we can easily integrate all these tools. Okay, and also this automation testing is mostly used for regression testing. Okay, it is mostly useful for regression testing. and also it will execute the repeated test case. If I want to execute a same test case for multiple times, so we can easily execute from this automation tool. Okay, so the next question here is, what are the challenges and limitations of Selenium WebDriver? Okay, so here I listed some of the challenges where I faced. Okay, we will see one by one. Here we cannot test the Windows applications. Okay, with the help of Selenium we are not able to test the Windows application, and also we cannot test mobile applications as well. Okay, with the help of Selenium WebDriver. And if you are using Selenium WebDriver, means there is some limitations of reporting point of view, and also we cannot, it is these are all the limitations and challenges. Okay, here we can handle the dynamic elements, which means that is also one challenge, and also we need to handle with the synchronization techniques also. Sometimes we are getting some web element not visible exception, and also web element not present. So during the time we have to use this Selenium. That is also you can consider as one challenge to handle the page loads and also to handle the dynamic web elements. So then the next challenge here is handling the pop-up windows. So okay, sometime we are getting some pop-ups, whether it is from web based or window based pop-ups. So those pop-ups also we are going to handle. So that's why we are considering this as a challenges. Okay, and also we are not able to handle the capture related scenarios as well, and also we are not able to handle the barcodes, okay, with the help of Selenium. So these are all the challenges and limitations what I listed here. Okay, so next, if you come into what type of tests you have automated, okay, during your interview, okay, during your automation interview, if interviewer will ask you about what types of tests you have automated, means, so here our main focus is to automate the test cases to do regression testing, smoke and sanity testing. Okay, among all these three testing process only we are going to use this automation tool mainly. Okay, the our main intention here is to do to use this automation tool, means to conduct regression testing, smoke testing and sanity testing. Okay, sometimes what will happen, it will completely depends upon the project, and also there is some cutoff time to complete all our testing. Okay, we have to consider all these scenarios. Okay, so then if everything is okay, then we can move to the end to end testing as well, like complete application flow. Okay, so those we can consider as the tests where we are going to automate. Okay, so the next question here is, how many test cases you have automated per day? Okay, it is the one of the most Selenium tricky interview question, because actually it will depends upon the test case scenario and its complexity and the length. Okay, this question is completely depends upon the test case scenario, what about the test case complexity, and how long the test case is. Okay, based upon these limitations we are going to automate the test cases. Okay, for example, I can automate 2 to 5 test scenarios per day when the complexity is limited. Okay, sometimes there will be only one test case to be automated because that complexity is bigger. Okay, so for this question, so you can simply tell in this way, like it is completely based upon the test scenario complexity and its length. Okay, so then we can move to the next question here, what is a framework? Okay, a framework is like we already discussed about this one. A framework is set of rules and best practices where we can follow in a systematic way to achieve the desired results, right? So that's where we can have different types of automation frameworks, and the most common frameworks are data driven testing, keyword driven testing framework and hybrid testing framework, and the last one is BDD, that is Cucumber framework. Okay, these are all the list of frameworks, okay, where we can usually use if we are an automation tester. Okay, so then the next question here is, what type of test cases to be automated? For example, here the data driven test cases, which means where there is some application where many users are trying to log into that particular application. So during that time what we need to do, it is not possible to test for each and every user to check that login functionality. So during that time we are going to test only few users with the help of data driven test cases approach. So based upon that approach we can conclude that that login functionality is working fine. So during that time we are going to use this data driven test case, mean these test cases to be automated. So then the next point here is test cases with higher complexity. Okay, based upon the complexity we are going to consider that as high priority. So that's why we are going to automate that kind of test cases first. So then the next point here is test case with many database updates. Okay, if we are working with mainly with database related testing, so during that time I'm going to concentrate only on the how many databases are going to be updated frequently. So during the time also we are going to automate this kind of test cases. So and the next, there are several type of test cases which needs to be updated, automated, so we will consider accordingly. Okay, then the next question here is, have you created any framework? Okay, we can consider here the three scenarios. Okay, first, if you are a beginner, the next, if you are a beginner but you have good knowledge of creating framework, and the next scenario here is if you are an experienced candidate. So based upon these question, based upon these scenarios, how you are, your experience, or you are a fresher, or you are having a good knowledge, based upon your strengths, you can explain about this question, have you created any framework? Okay, if I am a beginner, so you can tell him, no, I did not get a chance to create a framework from the scratch. I have used the framework which is already available. My contribution is mostly in creating test cases by using the existing framework. Okay, if you are a beginner, then you can simply explain him like, I don't have any experience, and also I did not get any chance to create a framework from scratch level. Yes, I used this framework, already existing framework. So based upon that framework, I created test cases with the help of that framework. Okay, so then the next scenario here is, if you are a beginner but you have a good knowledge of creating framework. For this question, you can tell him, if you are comes in this scenario, you can tell him, yes, I have involved in developing framework along with other automation testers in my company. Okay, if you have good knowledge about how to create a framework. Okay, so the next scenario here is, if you are an experienced candidate, so you can tell him like, yes, I have contributed to developing the framework that is from scratch level. Okay, or you can say, yes, I have created a framework from the scratch level. There was no automation process in my previous company. I designed the framework from the scratch level. Okay, you can tell if you are an experienced candidate if you get this question. Okay, so then the next question here is, why do you prefer Selenium as an automation tool? Okay, I prefer Selenium automation tool because some of the benefits of Selenium to do automation testing as below. Okay, first of all, Selenium is a free and open source tool, and also with the help of Selenium many people are using, and also which is having very good community. Okay, if I need any help, so we can easily get some help from that helping communities if we are using this Selenium as an automation tool. And also we can perform here cross browser automation testing, and also we can perform cross platform independent compatibility. And also this Selenium automation tool will accept multiple programming languages for scripting part, and we can perform some parallel execution, and also we can integrate this Selenium with the continuation integration tools like Jenkins. Okay, we can achieve nightly execution of using Jenkins. Okay, these are all the preferable conditions to use Selenium automation tool. Okay, so then moving to the next question, when do you use Selenium grid? Okay, first, Selenium grid can be used to execute same or different test scripts on multiple platforms and browsers concurrently so as to achieve distributed test execution. Okay, when we are going to use Selenium grid means, to achieve distributed test execution, we are going to execute all our test scripts on multiple platforms and multiple browsers. Okay, during this time we are going to use Selenium grid. And what are the advantages of Selenium grid? Okay, so first of all, Selenium grid will allows running test cases in parallelly, thereby saving the test execution time. Okay, if we are running all our scripts on multiple browsers, okay, parallelly, so during that time you can save your time. And also it will allow the multiple browser testing, and also it will allow us to execute test on multiple platform, that is OS related, that is Windows or Mac operating systems or Linux. Okay, any kind of platform it will be, we are going to use this Selenium grid. Okay, that is the advantages of Selenium grid. Okay, here what is a hub in a Selenium grid? A hub is a server or a central point that controls the test executions on different machines. Suppose if I want to execute my scripts by taking one hub, okay, I am going to execute all my test scripts on the distributed machines like computer 1, computer 2, computer 3, computer 4. If I want to execute all my scripts on 4 different machines, so during that time with the help of hub, I am going to mention my central point here. So then I am going to distribute all my test cases on these 4 machines, so that we can save our execution time as well, and also we can conclude that compatibility of that application as well. And what is a node in a Selenium grid? So node is the machine which is attached to the hub. Okay, node is a machine which is attached to the hub. There can be multiple nodes in Selenium grid. Okay, as we discussed now, the computer 1, computer 2, computer 3, computer 4, these are all the nodes. Okay, so these are all the nodes. So these nodes are commonly connected with a machine called hub. From this hub only those nodes are receiving the information and those nodes are performing the execution. Okay, that is about what is a node in Selenium grid. Okay, then the next question here is, what are the types of WebDriver APIs available in Selenium? Okay, here API means application programming interface. Okay, here in our case Firefox driver is an API, Gecko driver is an API. So likewise we can have browser along with the different browser driver APIs. Okay, that is in the same way we can have this headless browser also, that is HTML unit driver, and also Android driver, and also Phantom JS also we can consider here as an application program interface drivers. Okay, so then the next question here is, how many parameters can Selenium commands have at minimum? Okay, there are 4 parameters that you have to pass the Selenium. Or first one here is host, the next one here is port number, and the next one here is browser, and the next one is URL. Okay, so these are all the 4 parameters where we are going to pass inside our Selenium. So then only you are going to start your application to be tested, right? So then what are the open source frameworks supported by the Selenium WebDriver? Okay, what are the open source frameworks supported by the Selenium WebDriver? Here there are 2 open source frameworks. The first one here is JUnit and the second one is a TestNG. Okay, these are the 2 open source frameworks supported by the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so then the next question here is, when you use these locators, that is ID, name, XPath or CSS selector. Here ID and name are the locators will be used when there are unique identifier and unique names available on the web page. Whereas if it comes to CSS selector means which can be used for performance and when ID and name locators are not in a queue. Okay, when ID and name locators are not the different. Okay, so during that time we are going to use CSS selector. Okay, and when we are going to use XPath, there is no preferred locators. If we don't have any name, if we don't have any ID, if we don't have value, so during the time we are going to create our own XPath by using of the XPath. Okay, so here what is the difference between single and double slashes? Okay, here single slash means it is used to create an XPath with absolute XPath. The XPath would be created to start selection from the document, node or start node. Okay, so here single slash means if I am using single slash means I have to select that XPath from starting, that is from starting point, that is called as node to bottom. Okay, that is about single slash. If I am using double slash means is used to create XPath with relative path. Okay, I can take any some kind of XPath from that particular XPath. Okay, if you want to use that any kind of XPath in middle means we have to use this double slash. Okay, we can take anywhere inside that XPath. Okay, we can take any area from that particular DOM XPath we can use with the help of double slash. Okay, that is about double slash. Okay, so then the next question here is, what is the difference between absolute and relative path? Okay, here absolute XPath is starting from the root node and ends with the desired descendant elements node. It starts with top HTML node and ends with the input node. It starts with a single forward slash. Okay, this is the example for that one. And whereas it comes to relative XPath, we can take any area from that particular XPath. Okay, here starts from any node in between the HTML page to the current elements node. Okay, last node of the element also we can consider here. It starts with a double forward slash as shown in the below. Okay, so then the next question here is, what are soft assert and what are hard assert in Selenium? Here soft assert means soft assert collects errors during @test. Okay, soft assert doesn't throw any exception when an assert fails and it will continue to the next step after the assert statement. Means it won't stop you the execution if you got any failures. Okay, it will continue the next execution steps also if we are using means soft assert. Whereas it comes to hard assert means suppose if there is any failure, your execution is not going to be continue with the next steps. Okay, if we are using hard asset, it will stop you wherever you are getting the failure, so it will stop there only. It won't take @test methods forward. Okay, so it will stop your execution whenever if there is any failure occur. It won't allow you to move furtherly if you are using hard assets. So then what are the verification points are available in Selenium? Okay, in Selenium WebDriver there is no built-in features for verification points, which will completely depends upon our coding style only. For example, if I want to verify a page title, for example if I want to verify some text of that particular web element, for example if I want to check whether that element is displayed or not, so during that time we are going to use our own coding style to handle these verifications, whereas it will comes to Selenium RC. Okay, so during that time we don't we have already some predefined methods to check verification points in Selenium RC, but we don't have any verification points to check, but we can use our own code to test all the verification points at different levels, that is title or text or particular web elements which are displaying or not. Okay, so then the next question here is, what are the different type exceptions you have faced in Selenium WebDriver? Mostly in my current budget I faced these exceptions, such as element not visible and stale element reference exception. Okay, so element not visible exception means when we are trying to locate a particular web element on the web page that is not currently visible even though it is present in the DOM. Okay, when that particular web element is present in the DOM structure but our Selenium is not able to find, so during that time we will get element not visible exception. Okay, if you are trying to locate an element with the XPath which associate with two or more elements, okay, what will happen? Two or more elements are highlighting means it is not able to click, because with the same XPath there are three or four elements are highlighting. Okay, that's why we are getting this no such element or element not visible exception. When it comes to stale element reference exception, so we can consider two ways here. The first approach here is that element has been deleted entirely, or the element is no longer attached to the DOM. Okay, the element is no longer attached to the DOM. Okay, so here there are some more other exceptions we usually face. Okay, so those are all WebDriver exceptions, illegal state exception, timeout exception, no alert present exception, no such window exception, no such element exception. Likewise we can have different kinds of exceptions, right? So moving to the next question, what happen if we mix both implicit wait and explicit wait in a Selenium script? For example, I am using Selenium like implicitly wait and explicitly wait. Okay, during this time what will happen? You will get some unpredictable causes because of mixing these two, implicit and explicitly wait. Okay, so the best suggestion here is don't use these two synchronization techniques at a time. Okay, because implicit wait is defined only once in the code, means it will remain the same throughout the driver object instance. Okay, because means if you are using implicitly wait means it will applicable for all the page. Okay, whole the page you are applying this implicitly wait. Okay, so if you come to explicitly wait means we are defining this explicitly wait only for the particular web elements to be waited. Okay, if we are using these two at a time means you will get some unpredictable causes. Okay, but we don't want that situation, so that's why it is better to don't use these two synchronization techniques together. Okay, so explicitly wait gets first preference than the implicit wait. Okay, mostly we have to use explicitly wait if we are waiting for any particular web element. If that one is also not working, but we can use your implicitly wait throughout the whole page. Okay, so that you don't get any sync issues. So then the next question here is how to log in into any site if it is showing an authentication pop-up for username and password. Okay, for example if I am trying to log into some application, so where I am getting some authentication pop-up for username and password, so during this time, so how we can going to handle this scenario? Okay, for this we have to pass username and password along with the URL. Okay, here is the example. So in my first example I written a line called https:// username password @URL. Okay, here that syntax is about that, and when it comes to the username and password, here you can see inside that forward slashes I am passing my username colon my password at the rate Selenium Tech Automation. Okay, with the help of this one, with the help of this approach, we can easily handle this authentication pop-up for username and password related scenarios. Okay, so what will happen if I run this below command? If I run directly driver.get without passing any https www.seleniumtechautomation.com, so you will get some error. Okay, if the URL does not contain http or https prefix, then an exception is thrown, right? So that's why we need to pass http protocol within the driver.get method. Okay, so then the next question here is, what is the alternative to driver.get method to open an URL using Selenium WebDriver? Okay, I can able to get my URL with the help of driver.get URL. So in the same way, what is a another approach or alternative approach to launch my URL? That is driver.navigate.to URL. Okay, we can use these two ways to launch our URL, that is to open our application. That is driver.get method is the first approach to open the URL. If you want to do in a different way, if you want to do in alternative approach means, so during the time you can use driver.navigate.to of your URL. Okay, how to handle hidden elements in Selenium WebDriver? Okay, with the help of JavaScript executor, we can easily handle these hidden web elements in our Selenium WebDriver. Okay, then here the last question here is how to read a JavaScript variable in Selenium WebDriver. You can see here, by using of JavaScript executor, I am going to print the title. Okay, I am going to get the title. Okay, here I'm going to get the title with the help of JavaScript executor. I typecasted here to the WebDriver reference. So then I'm taking one string variable called title. So after that I'm taking with the help of return document.title. Okay, this line will return you the title of that particular document, right? So then after I'm going to print the title the help of SISO statement. Okay, so these are all the 29 questions I made for this session. If you find this tutorial helpful, please drop a like, and also please don't forget to watch this video till the end, and also please do subscribe to my channel if you are new to my channel Selenium Tech Automation, and your share will helps this video to recommend for more people. Okay, so I hope you people will do that. So that's all it for now. We will connect with our next video. Until then, take care everyone. Have a nice day. Signing off, Selenium Tech Automation. Thank you so much guys. Bye bye.